So for the sake of this video, I want to clearly define what I mean by porn and sex. I'm putting them into two categories for the sake of the title, and because I don't want the title to be super long. When I talk about porn, I'm talking about porn and also messing around, hooking up, anything of that nature. And then when I'm talking about sex, I'm talking about sex in God's eyes, how God views sex and what it actually is supposed to be. So the point of this video is to investigate and argue that when we pick porn and hooking up and all those things, anything that's not God's view of sex, we're picking a cheaper version of the real thing. We're settling for a counterfeit way, one that's not nearly as fulfilling, life-giving, or valuable. We're picking Iron Pyrite. So what is Iron Pyrite, you ask? It's actually just a more official term for fool's gold. It's a mineral made from iron and sulfur that looks a lot like real gold, hence the name fool's gold. But when it's actually further examined, it's deemed to be a counterfeit. In the 1800s, when the gold rush expanded out west, people were searching for gold and finding it like crazy. But the thing was that some people were finding the real thing and some people were finding Iron Pyrite. And the thing is that Iron Pyrite really isn't worth that much, especially when you compare it to the real thing. And so this is why I've decided to name the channel Iron Pyrite, because I feel like this just gives a great picture of what it's like when we're picking pornography over real sex. We're not picking God's view of sex, and we're picking the world's view of sex. We think we're experiencing sex in its full capacity. We're thinking we're even experiencing love in its full capacity, but in reality, we're experiencing just such a cheap version of it. It's not operating in the purpose that it's supposed to be operating in. And the sad part about it is that we're settling for something that's basically worthless. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So this is a phrase that basically means that there's a lot of times in life and there's a lot of situations where we're posed with two options, but the bottom line is that we can't have both. You can't have a cake and eat it too, because when you eat the cake, you no longer have it. And I know it's kind of like a weird phrase. It's actually not really said right. And this, I feel like, is just a great analogy for pornography and sex. We think we can watch porn and have sex with whoever we want and still eventually have a great marriage. And I just think that's a lie. I feel like the Holy Spirit is saying like, no, you can't do that. You have to pick one or the other. Which one do you really want? Because whichever one you elevate, the other one will decrease. Whichever one you focus on, the other one will lack. They take from each other. You can't watch porn and expect to have great sex with your wife or your husband. It's just, you may be able to do it for a season, but eventually what's in the dark will come to light, and eventually one will take over the other. You can't hook up with anyone you want and then just expect all of a sudden for one person to be enough. Like, you're training your body otherwise, you're training your mind otherwise. It's like we're making a cake, and you know that form that a cake's in when you mix all the ingredients together, and it's kind of like a pudding, and it's not like cooked yet at all, it's just in that like pre-cooked form. I feel like this is kind of what a lot of our sex lives look like. Like, we have the batter, we mixed all the ingredients, we're just eating this thing up, we're just going to town, like we're like, like damn, this is fire, like oh my gosh, like wow, this is good, like, and I just feel like God's like over here just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you eating it right now? Like, you're supposed to wait till it's cooked, wait till it like is fully developed. Like, if you think that tastes good, how much better is it going to taste when I give you the real thing, when I give you the right ingredients, when I give you the right person? Like, it's not even supposed to really taste like that. You're eating something that's not even supposed to be eaten right now. And if you wait, it'll be so much better. And a lot of us are just eating this thing up, just licking the bowl, just like we're killing this thing, and it's not what it's supposed to be. I just feel like God's like, you're eating it way too soon. You need to wait. You need to let me develop you. You need to let me give you the right person. You need to let me give you the right things so that you can grow and that it can actually develop in what it's supposed to develop in. Like, you're not even mature enough to have sex yet. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I feel like we just need to be fully convinced that sex God's way is better. Like, if hooking up with a random girl or guy feels good, if watching porn feels good, if watching a screen feels good, like, how much better is sex going to be when it's with someone that you actually love, that you actually care for, that you actually enjoy, that you know like everything about? And I think what the devil's done with this issue is that he's made us take our eyes off perfection. Like, he's actually convinced us that the counterfeit is worth choosing. Like, he's made us think that the thing that's worthless is actually better than the real thing. And we're settling for something that's actually going to take way more from us than it's going to give. I don't want to be pleasing myself with a screen for the rest of my life. I don't want to be turning to a video when I have a girl right by my side. At the end of the day, you're literally watching a screen. Porn gets you so addicted that you forget that it's not actually the real thing. Yeah, sure, porn feels good. Yeah, sure, hooking up with people feels good. But in reality, it feels good for 15, 20, an hour if you can last that long. Like, that's the bottom line, is it only really feels good for that long. And then after, you feel like trash. Why would we trade 15 or 20 minutes of feeling good for lifelong freedom? Why would we do that? We have a chance to make things better. We have a chance to get healed, but it's not going to happen unless you commit everything to it. Yeah, God could heal you in an instant, of course, and that would be amazing. But even if he did that, would you stay healed? Just because he takes away the desire from doing it doesn't mean he takes away the choice. You always have a choice to go back to pornography. You always have a choice to have sex with whoever you want. Is your lifestyle set up in a way to where you're going to stay healed? And that's what this channel's about. It's about focusing on that steps where our lives are set up to a point where we're not going back. Like, it's almost like we're closing the door to that. We're closing the door to pornography. We're closing the door to sexual addiction, and we're choosing freedom. We're choosing life. And I just want to encourage you, like, it's possible to get free. It's possible to not be tied to those things. It's possible, but you have to really go after it. If God tells us to do it this way, I can imagine it being amazing because he's perfect. And he knows what we need. He knows what's good for us. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy this video. Like I said, it's not super practical, but we're gonna get more practical. We're gonna keep exploring this idea, and we're gonna keep working towards freedom. And I encourage you to go on this journey with me because you won't regret fighting this thing, I promise. So yeah, is that it? Oh, that was smooth. The last like 3 minutes, I feel like I did really well. Man, recording's hard. It is a grind. I'm sweating now. I'm sweating out here. But yeah, that last one, I feel like I was in a groove the last few minutes. That was tight. Oh, let's get it, boy.